So what I want to dive into here today is a few of the things in the PDOCS program and the resources and assets you guys have access to. And I just see a lot of people not using these. So I just wanted to run through. So first off, here's the PDOCS motherboard. I've gone through this a bunch. This is probably the coolest overall resource. And this is kind of the bible of the program. Everything you would need to, you just revert back to this, and on the left hand side it's all in chronological order of the steps. Then they're all laid out in SOPs. But what I really want to focus, and this isn't all about the motherboard, I have different videos on that if you want more information. But within here there's different links and resources to different assets at the bottom. What I really want to cover today is the Starboard, something we've had for a while and we've been using, that a lot of people either forget is here, just don't use, or again don't know about, don't use, what have you. So if you click on that, it's going to open up into the Trello 7-day challenge PDOCS motherboard that we have. So this is a quick organic formula to start getting some results within 7 days. And of course, you use it for much longer than that, but our initial objective was for that particular thing. So as it says, make your own copy. So you're going to go up to the top and make a copy. And then once you do, this is going to let you start logging your groups, right? So you want to build a little template of the group name, the number of members, the amount of posts in the last month, active groups. And I have a template of about 15 baseline entrepreneurial coaching agency groups that I'm happy to share with people if they want. The science of online selling is one example here. Mentions how we have 16,000 active members at the time when we did this. And different groups here. So this is a different one, the amount of people. And then you have your skeleton swipe files, which is the group name and the lead type. That's what you need understanding of. I have a whole training on lead types. You'll see 6 of them in here, right? There's the story lead, the proclamation lead, the secret lead, problem solution, promise, and offer-based lead. And you would use those in different parts or in different types of content based off the sophistication level of the group, and also how well known you are. If somebody doesn't know you at all, you're probably not going to start with an offer-based lead. Your first engagement or introduction to someone might be something like a story-based lead, where you can relate. You can tell a little of your backstory, what you do, why you do it, some of your wins and some of your true successes, some things on the other side since you become successful. A proclamation is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a bold claim that disarms the reader and they don't necessarily believe right away, so they need to keep reading. Secret lead, again, pretty self-explanatory, right? What if I could show you the secret ingredient to losing 5 pounds in the next 3 days, right? Whatever, right? Problem solution is probably my favorite and the most commonly applicable. And that's where we talk about the mainstream problem in any industry. We highlight the mainstream solution, and then we kind of break that down and why that mainstream solution is BS. And then we can inject and talk about our unexpected solution at that point. So for instance, your main problem is Facebook ads, cost per acquisition. The primary solution you hear is hire a professional media buyer. Well, the problem with that is media buyers don't actually dial in your creative and your copy. They're just there to manage the ad spend and dial in your audience and track the metrics, right? So this is what you really need, right? And then you can inject. So that's just a quick example off the top of my head. A promise-based lead is usually something that correlates very close to your offer. So a promise-based lead, let's just say your offer is to help somebody book 15 calls in the next 30 days, right? Whatever, something pretty simple that is. I could do that in a week or two, but whatever, let's just say it's that. So your promise lead could be like, what if I could show you in the next 7 days how to book a minimum of 3 calls onto your calendar? So just a little portion of that. And you make a promise, and and then if somebody's interested, cool, I'm going to show you how to do that in my little $47 workshop. But I also have this other thing where every 30 days I can make sure you're consistently booking 15. Is that something? So it can kind of translate right into your offer. It's kind of like a little piece or an intro to your offer, or something that gets an entry level result that might bring up the person's confidence enough to where they're ready to maybe invest in a high ticket offer to solve that problem, right? So those are different lead types. You kind of want to know what type of lead type you're using, and they usually fall into 3 different description types, which we have listed there. So again, this is just the foundation. This is an example of a post in this particular group with this particular lead type, and then you can build out your angle bank in different angles from the PDOCS research, which is also included that template in the motherboard, which I just clicked on to get here, right? So you can build out all your angles from the pains, desires, the obstacles, the common beliefs, and the steroids or attention grabbers in that market and what's going to work. And then we have our work in progress posts and scripts here. So for instance, right, this is a work in progress post and I'm split testing it. And this is the emotion that's built in. This is the structure. So we break down the psychology and the fundamental aspects that go into a post. And then we obviously, very similar to you see, and we have one of these for ads too. I'll actually cover that in a later video. But you also see later, we're going to move those to winners and losers. And through time, obviously, the winning posts, we're going to see what type of groups are performing, what type of leads, what type of content. And obviously, in the future, we're going to create more like the winners and less like the losers. Or we shelve the losers and split test them and figure out why they didn't work. And sometimes it's just a little subtle tweak. Sometimes it was a lead type. Sometimes you had the wrong story type for the wrong audience, right? Things like that. So sometimes it's a subtle tweak. Then we put them into live once they've gone live, once we've got the engagement and the resources, and the analysis and the metrics, then we can kind of decide if it's a winner or a loser, right? Then you move them over here to analysis. If they're losers, they either didn't work, got deleted, or you want to put it for analysis and maybe think it was good, but you want to make a couple tweaks. Then you have all the different scripts that we give you access to: our How Hero script for cold outreach, our warm outreach script, our two-step scripts, and all these other. So these are advanced organic methods that I've taught and are in some of my other programs. But everybody in here has access to this, where within here, you can go see the Loom trainings that correlate to this, the finding the people and utilizing this prospect trigger word badge mining strategy that very few people execute on. Our tracking KPI sheet, which if you click on would now open this. And now you have, hold on a minute. Pop up. Now you have a full tracking sheet for how many How Heroes did I send out? What was my conversion rate? Group engagement. And then you have different copies down here of optimization. But the KPI tracker is super helpful. You can track day by day, obviously, and set that up accordingly to each of these metrics. How many scripts did I send? What were my reply rates? What was my feedback and my replies? So this is the research and the constant feedback loop that we're always talking about within PDOCS, that we deliver and that we utilize ourselves. Our GAP framework, our 7A framework, which is super helpful. I'm not going to run through each one of these, but if you'll see in each one of these, there will be something, a worksheet to go through to implement for yourself. So you have access to, or the tutorial if needed, or the worksheet, right? The scripts, the How Hero, right there is everything you need to know. And here's the whole script in Google Doc format. So all that stuff's here in the Starboard. My current PDOCS students and clients, I recommend you're using this and active if we're still doing the organic. The next video, or shortly, I'll make one on our more ads-based one, very similar to the winners and losers. And I've seen other products recently hit the market, people coming out with, different ad planners and things like that. So very similar to what we've been doing for 3 or 4 years here. We've updated this slightly, but this is pretty much rinse and repeat what's worked and kind of the foundation of organic execution within the PDOCS method. So yeah, that's what I'm here to cover today, guys. If you want any more information on how to get access to this or certain little tools, or access to our $50 a week flagship program right now, where you get, implementation and support sessions with myself weekly on live calls, access to our full Kajabi portal of curriculum, which again, I'm not going to go into right now. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and let me know if you have any questions down in the comments or what else you'd like me to cover.